Here are 3 awesome React Query features you can implement just by using the enabled option. The first one is a click to load button, and this is pretty simple. So we have a query here, use user, and we're just gonna add an option here, enabled, which is a boolean, and then we're gonna pass it to the query. And then in our profile component, we're gonna add a new state called load, and this is gonna have an initial value of false. And then we're going to add a button, and when it's clicked, we're going to set load to true. And then we can pass this load state to the query and then render the UI. Next cool feature you can implement is having optional parameters. And here we have a simple query that just takes an ID of a user and then gets it from the backend. So here we're going to start by making the parameter optional, and then we're going to make the query enabled when the ID is defined. And this way the query is only going to run when the ID is defined. Last but not least, we have dependent queries. This is a very common use case, and this is especially relevant when you have a query, let's say for example, use secure data, that depends on another query like use token. So first thing to do here is to check the return type of the query function of the first query, and then in the second query, use secure data, we're gonna add this as a parameter. And inside the query, of course, we need to add this to the query key, and then we can simply use it inside our query function. Of course, we also want to make sure here that it's only enabled when token is defined. And once we've done this in our component, we can simply call the first query and then pass the result of the first query as a parameter to the second query.